into the UK clothing retail sectors as a business analytic approaches. And we are going to in the present UK clothing's relative industries are analyzed with help of a business analytics. It targets five relative large relative clothing and fashions. Next, we are going to slide about the introduction of UK clothing relative markets is one of the most dynamic and demanding markets, and it's fast fashion, and high street brands as well as online platforms. In the year 2024, the sector was down by 2.3, and it was pointed post panic and infection pressures. The discussions will until business analytics. It's learn the financial settlability and effections and the leaders companies at last 10 years. It pays attentions to the fashionable settlability and affection of operations and favorability of strategies, the difference between the performance and how choices that determine the financial performance with the UK related sectors. And the next slide, data and mentality. UK clothing reality. UK the data is blend of credible sources including of fame, IBIS World and financial statement of the company. It remains the 10 year, it represents 10 years of performance statistics and between 2015 to 2024, and it has five large retails of clothing, 10 business measures well selected including probability and including affection, the scale of operations. Out of this, there are control measures specialists to over liquidity ration and employees that directly affected by the actions and favorability datas, graduate assumptions the comparability the data integrated to support across companies and time series analysis which allows making expected conclusions and performance in UK clothing industries. And going to the next slide, describes analyzes intercompany compromises. The sector produces and dedicated to compromises of the performance of five companies in 10 years. Surprise limited boards and greatest turnover the profit before tax. As one of the inductors of its great brand as global expansions, your clothing is provised and the stable growth with good expenses managements and BM Fashions and TXJ UK and other have the smaller but stable revenue trends. Such a corporations of the companies provide the variable statics and they are the companies which are focused on developments. And there are the companies which are really on the stable network and the team of analysis makes impacts, and we can see the chat 1, chat 2, chat 3. This is the explanation of this chat. And going to next slide, uh, describe analysis, trend analysis. Uh, the trend analysis mentors are dynamics in the turnover and profit margin between the years of 2015 to 2024. We can see on the charts. Surprise Super Dry Limited shows is the highest growth rate exponentially in the year of before 2019. Wherever we use clothing shows the gradual and stable improvement of the profit margins throughout the function, indicating stable growth over time. This is the trend of the industry's dynamics, the stability of the industries and especially in the post-panic recovery, they also determined the bigger it is the brand of smaller companies can maintain growth efficiently. The knowledge of the trend ascends managers predict future trends, performance, investments, and strategic discussions. And going to the slides 7, evolution of chart types and dashboards. The importance accept of the competitive and it insets the effective data's visualizations, live charts, and best used when the charges are posed to dispacted with the time and turnover the profit trend. The bar charts are used to compare between matic profits and margin as a rock, and pie charts indicates proportion such as a market share, effective dashboards, and have competition such as a visible of single view. And the real examples are like Nike and Zara, which utilize the power BI and to mentor performance is real time properly selected images and help to decide completion data capability and effective or quicker discussion making. And going to the slide 8, summer statics. Summer statics gives impressions of the sector performance during period 2015 to 2000 I like 24 average probability and the average turnover of around PS 11.5 million and average profits of PS 1.2 millions like and the outcomes of the recurrent no it's near to 1.2 into indicates the majority of the companies were not involved in the short of northless and green rates of 76 to 77 percent suggest that refills on debit especially average segment this mentions of the financial statistics are the wastage. And going to the next slide, median and standard deviation impact depicts the value of averages and the media and standard deviation is more informative. The media turnover PS like 2.5 millions is very low to comparisons to mean that stay the companies in like super dry, sick and overall figures the may you can see in the chart buds and finally in its media it's more related to showing average performance. The validity and indicates by standard deviations and smaller deviations which is high standard will reflect financial risk and directions and performance tables turnover future implements the inductions of this aspect help to the managers to determine the financial sustainability and to determine the expose the risk and develop the reality goals and ensure the discussion around actual life application to industry and the extremes. And going to the next slide, predictive analytics and correlation analytics. The correlation analysis is a kind of investigation reports between significant business metrics. There are positive high correlation between turnover, the profits, and indicates the increased revenue normally implements increased probability. The net talent also clear talented turnover, the strong physicals. You can see in the regressions models depends variable profit tax, independent variable results, multiples, interruptions, work over size, and getting exhibit week of negativity and promoting probability labor forces and debits. This about the regulations analysis. Going to the next slide, predictive analytics. The reactions, equations, and conduction predicted profit based on the managed variables, including turnover, liquidity, radio, gearing employees. The model is very reliable which is R2 of 0.782 accounts, and the percentage profits, the greatest impact is made by turnover, which implements and probability strongly. There are number of employees. The predictive analysis can able to managers to know the impact of financial and operation discussion in relation profits, enable them to plan evaluated results. You can change the chats, employee line fit polled, equalability radio and line fit polled, gearing ready user polled, turnover ready user polled. These are the about the slide. Now going to the next slide. Predictive model evaluations. The strongly model reliability RS 0.9 turnover the main probability determinants, and equality and grading supports stable growth. Workover flows alone does not ensure profits matters. Limitations are Those are the limitation, and impact supplies also external factors like inflation, customer demands, and supply chain cost is not included. Assemble legal linear relationships and summary. We're going to regression model produce valuable gauge of fast getting discussions. This about the predictive model evolution, and going to the visible and dashboard. The analytic dashboard is computations of both descriptive predictive results with a stage forward interactive interface to turn over the profit trends, equality grade as well as continuous profit in the probability size area charts. We can change the charts, turn over the probability trends, line graphs, equality and graying bar charts, financial health, like essential metric by company, probability with size area, and company's performance and detective information. We can see in the dashboards, and we can see in the charts. And going to the this about the visualization dashboards, and going to the next slide. And the conclusion. Finally, the UK clothing is related industry is very comparative industry. Big stores such as a super giants, yours clothing, or on the front line in the terms of probability, and the small related stores the stable performance due to the effective management. It has been analyzed the probability drivers and strongest with turnover the equality, like sustainable and determine the operation efficiently. In generally the result is indicated the data analytics and essential in the strategic plannings, engineering financial management, and refocusing discussion making transformation related landmarks and turnover equality. You can see the companies and effective workforce structures, performance better, data driving analytics, help managers, mentors predict and business outcomes. These are the about the UK clothing system. Thank you.